Hello soulmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to cut and also how to sew this beautiful two-piece style with a stylish back. So this is my recreation, and for this video I'll be teaching you how to cut the upper part. As for my trouser, please kindly ignore, but if you want a tutorial for the trouser, that free palazzo trouser from the inspiration, I will link it up here. But this trouser, as you can see, it is tight, but the one they used was free. So if this is something you're interested in, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get started. Welcome back guys. So for this tutorial, this is the pattern we'll be using, and it is a basic blouse pattern. It has the armhole, the bust, the waist, and the hip, which is also the bust length. So this is what we'll be using to draft the back and the front bodies for the top. So now the next thing I'll be doing here is to just make my shoulders loop and to mark my neckline. So I'm using a 3 inches wide neckline on fold. You know, when I open it up, that's 6. So I'm using a 3 inches, then I will be slanting this shoulders loop just by 1 inch. So after that, we'll be drafting the back bodies first. So I'll be measuring 2 inches deep for the neckline of the back. So that's 3 by 2, 3 inches wide and 2 inches deep. So this is it. Then we just cut out all these parts that we don't need. So this is the fabric I'll be using, and this is a very soft crepe. It is very soft. So it is a soft crepe I'm using. So I'm placing my pattern on it like this. What I'm cutting right now is actually the front, but it's the back pattern I drafted. That is why I'm adding extra 2.5 inches for the front. So there's extra 2.5 inches at this area. Then at this side here, I'm adding my joining allowance for the side, and also all the necessary seam allowance. So I'm cutting the front first before I now before I adjust the pattern for the back. So for this side, like I said, I added 2.5 inches there. That is because of the folding that will be at the front because of the buttons. So now the next thing I want to do is to transfer my darts. So what I do is just to put a pin through this part, then I'll use my marker or my pen or my chalk to just transfer it like that. So now, since we've successfully cut out the front bodies, so now let's cut the neckline for the front before we move to the back. So like I said, I added 2.5 inches at this area, but when I'm folding, I'll be folding just 2 inches. I'll be folding just 2 inches at this part, but I added 2.5 inches. The extra half inches at that part is just for the overlapping. So for this pattern, you divide your pattern by the waist area, just like this. The waist area is also the half length. You divide it like this. Then you can either take in your darts like I did, or just leave it, then you take it out on the fabric. So anyone you want to do, but I took mine in here like this. Then I'll be cutting out the pattern. So this is the back that I'm cutting currently. As you can see, I added the allowance at all the sides. I'll still show you properly. So for this one, this is what I cut out, and I cut out 4, so 2 each for each side. So this is what it looks like. So as you can see, the half inch sewing allowance at the side, and at the other side, which is the side I'll be joining to the front, it has 1 inch sewing allowance. So this is the other part too, because there'll be a belt in between. That is why I'm cutting 2 of this, for it to look nice. That's why I'm cutting 2. So one will serve as the lining and the one will serve as the main fabric. So this is the front. I went ahead to iron the 2 inches. So I've ironed the 2 inches. So the next thing we'll be doing is to cut the neckline for the front. So the neckline I'm using is 7 inches deep. So if you want yours to be deeper or you don't want it to be as deep as that, you can just adjust the measurement. But I use 7 inches for mine. So I'm trying to transfer the neckline of the back to the front by just noting the point there. So then I'll be shaping this with a V shape. It is a V shape. So you place your straight ruler like this, then you just roll it together with the folded parts. So you cut it out just like this. So after you are done with that, so what we'll be cutting for this is just the facing. We'll be adding a facing to this neckline so that it will look nice. You can actually use a bias to turn it, but I use a facing. I added a facing to it. So for the cutting of the facing, as you can see how I folded my fabric into two, I'm cutting for both sides of this fabric, that is the right and the left. You know the front is divided into two, so I'm cutting for both sides. So this is how I place my fabric on it. So the facing fabric I place on that is 1 inch away. Is 1 inch away from this side. Just 1 inch away from the main fabric. Then I'll just be cutting along the neckline. So you can pin this so that it doesn't shift when you are cutting. So I'm cutting along the neckline and along the shoulder line too. So you make sure you are capturing both the front and the back of the facing. So now I'll just connect this part like this just to cut this out first before I reshape, because I will still reshape this part. So this is what it looks like when I place it on it like this. So this is what it looks like. So this is how it should look. So from this part here, I'm just trying to trim the excess part I have here out. So this is what it will look like. You will see it very soon when we start joining. So for us to start joining, you place it like this, then you join with 1/2 inch. So you place your facing just like this. Place it like this. You make sure there is 1/2 inches difference there. Then you sew. After sewing, you flip it over. So for the back, the upper part of the back, I'm also adding a facing for the neckline also. And this is what it looks like. So for the belts at the back, so mine is 2.5 inches wide. So that's 5 inches wide. Then when it is unfolded, it is 2.5. Then the length can be your desired length. So at this edge here, I'm just trying to slant it. So I'm trying to slant this edge here. So this is the front after taking the dart and after sewing, and I will show you how I did this. So I added hemming gum to this part, so just to lay it down. So I'll be explaining what I did here. So this is what we have after joining. So after joining the facing to it, what you should have should look like this. What you should have should look like this. Then after that, you take out your dart, then you fold this like this. From the folded part, then you join the neckline with 1/2 inch. You join it with 1/2 inch. Then after joining, you add the hemming gum at the neck area. I also top stitch at the neckline area too. I top stitch at the neckline area so that it can turn out nice. Then I added hemming gum so that it can stay. And this is what it looks like. So this is what the front looks like. So this is the back too. I went ahead to sew the facing to it. Then I went ahead to also top stitch. So after top stitching, this is what I have. Then the next thing I'll be doing is to fold this part in by 1 inch, just half. Then I'll sew the edge of it. So for these other pieces that I have, this is what it looks like. So this is what the pieces look like. So this is the belt after sewing. So you place the belt in between in such a way that when you flip it over, the belt so will be flipped over. So now I'm placing the belt inward like this. Then I will be pinning it down just ½ inch below the fabric, so that when I sew it ½ inch, the belt will be at the edge. So you do the same thing too for this other side. So you place it just like this. So after that, you go ahead and sew those edge, and this other edge. So the only opening will be by this side. So after sewing, this is what I have. So this is what it will be looking like. So this is what it should be looking like. So as you can see the opening at this area. So now let's join the front and the back together. So we start by the upper part first of the back. You know the back is divided into two. So you pin the sides together. You join the side, then you join the shoulder too. So for this part, you also place it like this on it. So when I was placing this, I noticed that I have not hemmed the lower part of my front, so I'll go ahead and hem the lower part, and I will show you what it will look like. So I'll just hem it with half inch because I have just 1 inch left at that area. So this is the lower part of the front that like I said, I'll just fold it in, then I'll go ahead and just sew. So for the shoulder too, you also join the shoulder. You join the shoulder and you make sure the facing is turning it like this. So for the front, after hemming the lower part of the front, this is what I have. So I'm trying to adjust it because I notice there is a space there. I'm trying to adjust it so that everything can balance out. So after joining by the side with my sewing allowance, this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after joining. Then the remaining part of this top is just the armhole area and also the button at the front. So for the armhole area, you can go ahead and use your bias to turn it in, or you can just turn it with the same fabric. So me, I'll go ahead and turn my armhole with the fabric. Then after turning, this is what mine looks like. Then after that, I'll go ahead and fix my button to this. So you fit like 5 buttons to the front part. Then after fixing, this is what I have. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't liked, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.